A Humble Soul, we checking back in, man. We still in Orlando with it. We broadcasting live from an undisclosed location. Where we at? We downtown right now? Where we at in the city, dog?
Yeah, man, we ducked off in the secluded spot. I don't even know where we at, but we somewhere.
For sure, for sure. So
Yeah.
let them know who we got in front of the camera, man.
Yeah, this King Supreme, man. King Supreme. Gambino to the streets.
Okay. Just to get a little bit of better understanding of who you are and your story, man. So you a product of the west side of Orlando, or you kind of bounce around the city, dog?
Yeah, man, I came up on the west side, man. You know, it started off in Mercy, you know what I mean, in the bricks, Lake Lawn. That's where I'm from. Shout out to my hood. I'll never forget it.
So you said shouting out to that particular section. So just talk a little bit about your childhood, man, and coming up in that area of the city, bro.
Well, I mean, from early on, honestly, it started out kind of rough, you know what I'm saying? Was exposed to a lot at an early age. You know, my family came from a broken home, you know what I mean, at a specific point early in age, and it led to a lot of things. My mom, you know, she was, you know, going through something back then, and just had a lot of experiences, man, like, you know, drug dealing, robbing, I mean, you name it. And eventually, you know, I wound up, you know, going off to prison for a long time, and it was a journey. It was a trial. And honestly, you know, it made me stronger, you know what I mean, because I always had an optimistic mindset towards, you know, everything that was taking place. You know, I never really looked at it as a situation that I would allow to take me down. But yeah, it was a trial, man, coming up as a kid, you know, seeing the killings, the shootings, the drugs, the violence, you know what I'm saying, in those areas. And that's what it was, man.
I mean, not to get too far ahead, so you said your mom went through some struggles early on, so single parent household, your father wasn't around?
Yeah, during that period, my father wasn't. You know, my mom, she kind of, you know, went left and got on drugs for an extensive amount of years, and that's what led to a lot of the dysfunctional things that took place on my behalf.
So can you kind of paint the picture for the viewers as much as you are comfortable with sharing? Like, so as a child, your father's not around, your mom is there, but she's still battling her own, you know, issues with addiction. So, like, what's that atmosphere like for you?
Okay, well, to make it plain to see, mom was on crack, and we had to survive the best way we can. So, you know, we went to engaging, you know, my sister, my mom only got 2 kids. Everybody else, siblings came from my father. So during that point in life, you know, we had to survive, man, and we had to do whatever we had to do. And it led to incarceration. It led to catching cases. It led to being around environments that had me just all over the place, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? And it's a blessing to still be here. You know what I mean? Because my mom going through that stage of getting on crack, and she rode that wave for a long time. So, you know what I mean, we had a long track record of, you know, just having so much trial and error, you know what I'm saying, and it was a situation, bro, seeing all of that type of activity. But, you know, I'm grateful that it didn't take, you know, toll on my mind and my mental, because I'm still here. Yeah. I'm still evolving. I'm still strong. And I believe, you know, in my mind that I can achieve whatever I set my mind to accomplish.
No, that's 100, bro. And I guess we can kind of transition after this. But as far as, like, what was that relationship like with your mom? Like, was there some type of resentment? Was there a distance because she was battling, you know, her addiction? Were you embarrassed to say that was your mom, or did you still love her? Like, what was that relationship like between you two?
That's a good question, because honestly, man, like I said a little while ago, that I always been optimistic about the whole situation, everything that took place. I never had in my mind that she did this, or I'm gonna blame her for it, because life is life, man. Sometimes things happen. We just have to pick up, from the bad things that take place. It's all in the mental, and that's what's something that I embrace. My mental capacities, and it allowed me to look at the situation in the positive. And you look at me, I'm still here, still evolving. Young black man, running 3-4 companies, currently in college, very active in the community. That's just what it is, man. It's all in the mental. And, my respect and my attachments to God, all that play a major role in who I am today.
No, for sure. And just talking about like you still being able to be resilient, and have a positive mind frame despite like those different challenges you've encountered since a child on up to the present point. Like from you seeing your moms like that to, you said you surrounded by crime, you seeing the murders, you seeing the drug dealing. Like at what point did you start to kind of flirt or jump into that type of lifestyle, or did that ever consume you?
I mean, honestly, bro, it was choppy. It was going back and forth, because, and I still ain't got it together all to this day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's been a rocky road, man. But through it all, I'm pushing, and I always looked at the situation like it's gonna get better. I'm gonna make it better.
Sure.
No matter what the circumstance was, I kept pushing. I never was like, man, I can't get through this. I had that mentality of a lion or a bear in the jungle. Like, man, I gotta rush through this. Knocking down all opposition. Even when I was behind the gates in the prison, going from prison to prison to prison, and the emasculation tactics that the system was using to emasculate my mind, I never let it broke me down. And I always had that mentality like, man, it ain't nothing in this world that I let interfere with my thoughts. Despite of me being put in certain situations and circumstances where I had to survive, I never let it, affect my mental. I still got love in my heart for humans, for human beings, for my community, for my people. Despite of anything that I ever been through, it ain't a person walking this earth, that I despise or I hate. That's just who I am as a person. But I look at my past as a stepping stone for my future. And this is why I can find peace through the storm, because I understand the peace. I understand the process. I understand the process of love and what it does to life, and how it affects life, and how it affects human beings.
No, for sure. That's deep, man. And for you to still maintain like that type of point of view on everything, that's a blessing. And I'm sure it's good health-wise, because if you allow certain stuff to consume you or over-consume you, it can lead to the stress. It can lead to the different problems, internally, mentally, physically, all of that, bro. Like your relationships with different people and all of that, bro. So you mentioned incarceration a handful of times so far. So, but prior to that, like, bro, like who were you as a person? Were you into sports? Were you big on education? Were you a smart kid in school? Like, what was it like for you coming up, bro?
Yeah, man. When before all of it started, I was a kid that, I liked to go to school. But like I said, early on, mom got on drugs real early. So that kind of like altered the path and led to me getting in the streets at an early age. I started selling crack, man, probably at the age of 12. You know what I'm saying? So it altered, it changed the process of things. But, education was always something important to me. Information was. So I always liked to read books, always was attentive to information. So, this is why, I'm able to, maneuver in different spaces even to this day.
No, for sure. You never had any plans, although you was, you hustling. Did you ever have any intentions or interest in like going to college or anything like that, or taking up a trade?
Yeah, I actually did, man. And actually, as we're speaking, I'm currently in college right now. You know what I'm saying? I go to UCF in Valencia, going to school for business. But I always wanted to empower myself. I always wanted to elevate. So in my mind, I had the mentality that, you know, whatever it takes, if it took school, if it took workshops, if it took me sitting down to, you know, an elder to get that information that I needed to keep pushing, you know what I mean? That's what my thing was. Even when I was in the streets, you know, my big homies, you know, that was around me, that showed me the game. I always been attentive to receive game so I could, you know, surpass my position that I was currently in and get to the next level.
Man, what was, I'm just curious to know, on the outside looking in, like, what was that period of your life like when your mom, I don't want to keep going back to your mom, but just using this as an example, your mom is on drugs, on crack, you're selling crack. Did it ever come to a point where you was selling to your moms?
No, hell no. No, that's a no. You know what I mean? We ain't riding the slow bus on that one, homie. No, you know what I mean? I ain't never, you know what I mean, would do that to not just my mom or, you know, somebody who I was cool with or close to at heart. It didn't even make sense to me, you know what I'm saying? So that's a no.
But have you heard of people doing that though?
Yeah, I mean, you have, the streets gonna be the streets, bro, and greed is greed. You know, some people don't have that type of morality, you know, to say, you know, I'm not gonna do that. But me, on the other hand, you know, I don't value money, you know, to that degree, to that extent.
For sure.